the US oil price collapsed for the first time in history below negative, leading one of the world's most valued commodities to fall so low that producers ended up paying buyers more than $30 a barrel to get their hands off oil. I'll break it down to you, but before that, you should first understand supply and demand. This is the core of this dilemma. Let's assume people in City A don't have apple, and they want it so badly. On the other hand, City B produce apple in enough quantities to cover all of A's need. So B supplies A with what they need, and everyone is happy, especially B, the only supplier. So B is the one who decides the price. But overall, we can say that the market is balanced between demand and supply. After 1 month, C and D knew about A, and both of them do produce apple. So now B has competition, so the prices will fall and A has now the choice to choose the lower price. So the market isn't balanced anymore. Pay attention, as long as there is only A who wants apple, then assuming that B set the lower price, they are the only one trading with A. The question that you should ask right now, what C and D are going to do with all the apples produced that no one wants? This is oversupply. It is overproduction, or the term that we use frequently in the oil industry is glut. It is the excess of supply over demand. So if you understand this concept, let's move on. This isn't exactly what is happening to the oil industry, but close enough on a much bigger scale. It is indeed oversupply. A while ago, the demand was high and the big producers keep on fueling oil. As an example, China alone imports on average more than 10 million barrels per day, and almost every other country imports this. This is why the price was always high, except in the few circumstances when the economy was in a real pinch. The demand exceeded by far the supply, and the rarity of this commodity makes these countries with black gold very rich, except the corrupted ones. Fun fact, when I was 16, I remembered reading in a newspaper that some countries threw the excess of their production. I was really shocked and mad back then, because I know that people in some countries in Africa starve and they need that food so badly. But I never understood it from an economical point of view, the meaning of this. And this is exactly what is happening, but it's even worse. But before that, let's understand why is there such a massive glut of crude. Firstly, the world was already awash in crude going into this year. Then surprise, surprise, corona pandemic struck, causing businesses to shut down, disrupting international travel, which decimated demand even more. And wait for it, this is not the ugly part yet. What's added insult to injury is that major producers, in particular Saudi Arabia, declared an oil price war as an answer to Russia by keep pumping oil even while demand has dropped drastically. The first one is due to a chain of complicated geopolitical, financial, and economical decisions over years. But I'm more interested in what is happening right now. So once Corona struck, no one wants oil, or more accurately we can say that no one needs oil. A decline for more than 30%, and by the time this video will be uploaded, I'm sure that it will exceed the 40% mark. So there is no demand for oil right now, and we don't even know how much time it's going to take. As I told you, businesses shut down. There is so much excess crude around USA and around the globe that producers and traders are coming to a point where they are running out of storage places. And needless to say that even ocean tankers are filling up. So let's break it down. We can simplify it and say that there is a financial market and there is a physical one. The physical market is certainly in a terrible shape, and this is pretty obvious because we are down by 35 to 40 million barrels a day in demand. On the financial side, it is about traders or holders of future contracts who are afraid of not finding a place to store oil in May, which led to a severe drop for WTI. And WTI stands for West Texas Intermediate, which is a benchmark for US oil. And also Brent went down to its lowest in 18 years, which stands to be a global price. The reason WTI took a big hit compared to Brent is that latter is on the water going from one country to another, while on the States they were producing 10 million barrels per day. And with demand being destroyed, the storage is full both on the national and the private field. SPR, which is the strategic petroleum reserve for the government and also the private commercial storage. Almost 3/4 of the overall storage is filled up. In other words, if they want to create new places to store it, they should invest more money, and it's a process that is time consuming. I'm pretty sure that everyone here understands that we're not talking about storing some books or fruits. Everything related to oil is pretty expensive and requires a lot of time and some heavy geopolitical decisions and financial speculation in order to implement it. The second option, do you remember what I told you about throwing the excess of food? It can't happen in the case of oil. Oil isn't eco-friendly. Some sea chips accidents made a huge mess, leading to kill a lot of species and several forms of life. It's a big risk, and for the one who wants it, it's a big gamble too. So to wrap up, demand has really fallen to a cliff, and the major oil-producing nations have continued to churn out millions of barrels. They didn't react to that. Their misevaluation of the current situation has led to a glut, which leads us to the third and the last problem. Russia and Saudi Arabia, the biggest oil producers, neither of them gave up on producing. And even after deciding to cut off production by millions of barrels, this decision didn't kick in, which leads to an extreme oil price crash. To put it simply, Russia isn't part of OPEC, which stands for Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. But 3 years ago, Russia made a deal to coordinate its production levels with the group in a pact known as OPEC+. But hold on, why Saudi Arabia isn't hurt as much as USA? The answer is simple, yet it leads to many hidden scenarios and requires a lot of attention to understand what's happening. The Saudis knew they could withstand the drop in profits in service of the long-term goal, so they pump oil more cheaply than any other entity, which gives them a serious advantage if they want to steal market share from higher-cost producers. More specifically, Saudi Arabia and Russia survived this catastrophic situation by selling cheaper oil to China, which desperately needed price-down crude. So they took a huge risk, betting that Russia would back down first in this game of chicken. But apparently, they were wrong. Russia's economy doing relatively well, having no foreign debt burden, so having the upper hand, they repeat the same move that China did once, when it has been steadily buying gold with its surpluses, so it can afford to ride out this standoff. The Saudi economy, on the other hand, is heavily indebted. Given their budgetary constraints, they need a higher price tag for the oil barrel to push their economy toward recovery. So when Saudi Arabia, the Carter's leader, suggested the participants collectively cut their oil production by about 1 million barrels per day, Russia didn't agree, believing that they do better competing with the Saudis rather than cooperating at this point. So they leave Saudi Arabia to shoulder the burden. So witnessing closely the unpredictable event, this reminded me of an amazing book entitled The Black Swan, The Impact of the Highly Improbable by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. An amazing book that I highly recommend for everyone. I leave an affiliate link down below in the description for anyone who wants to check it. So, can we really blame anyone here? Yes and no. It's a debatable question. I'd like to hear your rational thoughts in the comments, but the only thing I'm sure of is that a lot of errors were made prioritizing self-interest over global benefits. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. I see you guys next time.